कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय। राधा माधव। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी, जय गोपी चंद वल्लभ गिरवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीर वनचारी, यमुना तीरे वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Now I recite मधुराष्टकम बाय संगीतबद्ध किया महाप्रभु श्रीमद वल्लभाचार्य जी ने। अधरम मधुरम वदनम मधुरम नयनम मधुरम हसितम मधुरम हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं, वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं, चलितं मधुरं रमितं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं। नेक्स्ट माता जी। वेणुर्मधुरा वेणुर्मधुरा रेणुर्मधुरा पाणिर्मधुरा पादो मधुरा नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, गीतं मधुरं प्रीतं मधुरं, भोक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं, रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, कर्णं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं, हरणं मधुरं रमणं मधुरं, वमितं मधुरं समितं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, गुंजा मधुरा माला मधुरा, यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा, सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं, गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा, युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं, दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं, मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम् मधुराधिपते अखिलं मधुरम. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Prabhuji, does time permit for the translation?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Sweet, sweet are thine lips, Krishna. So are thine sweet cherubic face. Sweet are thine jet black eyes, Krishna. So is thine soulful laugh. Sweet is thine loving heart, Krishna. So is thine beautiful gait. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet are thine sweetest words, Krishna. So is thine divine story. Sweet is the pace of your stay, Krishna. So is thine greatness. Sweet are thine moments, Krishna. So is thine confusion. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet is thine flute, Krishna, so is thine foot dust. Sweet are thine hands, Krishna, so are thine feet. Sweet is thine dance, Krishna, so is thine friendship. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet is thine song, Krishna, so is what you drink. Sweet is what you eat, Krishna, so is your sleep. Sweet are thine looks, Krishna, so is thine tilak. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet are thine deeds, Krishna, so is thine path of salvation. Sweet is thine theft, Krishna, so is thine play of love. Sweet are thine oblations, Krishna, so is thine tranquility. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet is thine necklace of berries, Krishna, so is thine garland. Sweet is thine river Yamuna, Krishna, so are the ripples in the river. Sweet is thine water, Krishna, so is the lotus in the water. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet are thine gopis, Krishna, so is thine playful sport. Sweet are thine right thoughts, Krishna, so is thine salvation. Sweet is what you see, Krishna, so is what is left out. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Sweet are thine gopas, Krishna, so are thine cows. Sweet is thine staff, Krishna, so is thine creation. Sweet is what you temple, Krishna, so are thine jokes. Hey, King of all sweetness in this world, everything about thee is sweet. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Thank you.
Very
Prabhuji.
nice Kirtan Mataji. Thank you. Very nice Kirtan Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
So
Mataji.
wonderful.
It's all your mercy, Mataji. All your mercy.
It was so nice, Mitesh.
Thank you,
God's
Mataji. So wonderful. Okay,
Thank you,
I
Prabhuji.
will start. Thank you so much, Samantha Mataji, for allowing me to do before. I have to go and receive my mother-in-law at the airport. She is arriving here today. So we'll begin. Okay, so thanks. Let me share my screen. Okay. We'll first do the prayers. Am I audible, Hare Krishna?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Namo Vishnu. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishta Vudrashya Mata Bhakti Vedant Swami Tunamani Namaste Sarvasti देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष आदि पाश्चात्य देश। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वैष्णव गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम। So we'll first sing the Krishna Leela Stava. सर्वशास्त्रादिपीयूष सर्ववेदैः सत्फल सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नादय सर्वलोकैर्दृक्पद सर्वभागवत प्राण श्रीमद्भागवत प्रभु कलिदान्त उदित्यादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तित. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churn from ocean of all Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world, O life breath of the Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are actually Lord Krishna who is written among us. Paramananda Parthaya Prema Varshakshadayati Sarvada Sarvasivaya Shri Krishnaya Namastune. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables stream pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna. Madeka Bandhu Matsangi, Madguru Manmahadana, Mandishtarka Madhagya Madananda Namostami. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. Asadu sadhuta dain ati niko chatakara, ana muncha kadachinma, premna nishtakantayusvara. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not ever leave me. Please become manifest upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. So sweet prayers by Jiva Goswami. Hare Krishna. Guru
By
Mantra.
Sanatan Goswami, Prabhuji.
Oh, sorry, Sanatan Goswami. Thank you, please. Krishna Leelas. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nama. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashat Vista. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तगण. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगुणरघुनाथानुकम्पां सजीवम्. साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सगुणललिता श्रीविशाखावतंश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ते राधाकान्त नमस्ते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वैष्णवसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hey, Hare Krishna, we are all welcome to today's session. So yesterday we started chapter 17 from Canto 11. The title is Varnashram System. And herein Lord Krishna is instructing Uddhava about the four Varnas, the four ashram, the transition, the progress through each of them, what are the qualities, what are the duties, um, for each of the varna, each of the ashram, what how to gradually progress and elevate from one ashram to another. What are the options to move from one varna to another varna in emergency scenario, and then also the passage of the four yugas, how the devotional service was conducted in each yuga. Like we also discussed, like Satya Yuga, there was only one Ved. The people were highly qualified. It was Hamsha Avatar, and only by chanting Om that was enough, because all of them were unalloyed devotees of the Lord. It was uh, much simpler, but then also Sarath Prabhu clarified. Although the environment was very good and very conducive, um, and yet the ask is much more much more sort of difficult, as they say, when the exam, no, sorry, the what do you call it? The exam is easy, the checking is difficult. Exam is difficult, the checking is easy. So, so this Kali Yuga is not that pure in that scenario. A lot of impurities around. By default, we are Manda Buddhi, Manda Ayu, always disturbed, always impure. So the Lord is more merciful in this age. It's very easy, just simply by chanting and glorifying the Lord, we can get what is so difficult and rarely achieved. In the other ages, also probably mentioned that it is very rare, and even in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that the Kali Yuga has so many dosha, but just one good thing it has, and that makes it very exalted and different. So even the great personalities want to take birth in this yuga. So that's what we went through. Again, the three sections in this chapter are the first, understanding of Varnashrama and Bhakti. There was a key focus on Brahmachari and Grahastha conduct, duties and practice of each of this Brahmachari and Grahastha, and then the spiritual responsibility of each Varna of the occupational duties. So that we did yesterday. We completed the Bhakti Vedanta and BBD text and purport up to verse 39. Today we will finish the remaining part. There are 7 themes in this last 18 verses, which are very critical. And then we will see the purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And post that, kindly Santa Mataji agreed. She will do the recap of the yesterday's section as well. So the first section in this last 18 verses, which describe the responsibility of the Grahastha and the Brahmana householders, those who are Dvija or twice born. So we saw yesterday that in the Satyuga and the ancient time prior to Kali, most by and large the uh, all the human male beings in the early stage would stay in the Gurukul. They will take Siksha from the Guru, they will serve the Guru, and under the order of the Guru, they will learn the Vedas, right? And then when the Guru, sees the right time, then when they are performing this vital responsibility, when they're performing their general duties, then they will award them the Janayu, or the thread, and that's where they are called Dvija, means second born. The first born, as we saw yesterday, is through the birth giving mother and father. Second birth is through the Guru Maharaj, right? Through taking this initiation process, and then they have to chant the Gayatri Mantra at a mentioned time. So there is a very high level of responsibilities for the Dvija, which are from Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, in shaping the society, because they at the higher stage, the higher the power, the more the responsibility, right? We have heard that. So they are tasked with performing sacrifices. They immerse themselves in Vedic literature, and they generously give to those who need, right? So that is the guideline and the duties and the responsibilities given here, right? Among these, the Brahmanas are given the higher uh, privilege. They get a lot of respect. They can accept the charity also. No other Varna should accept that. But and not but and they have the responsibility that they guide the Vedic wisdom and they do the sacrifice for the greater good, right? So that is the key thing. What is the philosophical reason behind this theme here? Is because the Brahmanas, their role is of a spiritual leader, right? So they have that guide. Even in today's day, the teachers have a responsibility, the leaders have a responsibility. Two things. They first have to themselves uh, imbibe by the values, and then only they can teach others. I heard like once, I don't know if this is correct or not, like I think it was Sant Tukaram, greatly Sant, maybe Eknath, uh, a parent came to them, this particular saint, and said that my child is very much addicted to eating lot of sugar, lot of sweet. May you please advise him to give away that because that will affect his health. So the saint said, please come after 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, he gave that instruction, and then the child followed. Then people asked, why 2 weeks? Then the saint says that I myself am addicted, so I cannot give that advice. So first I left, then I get the power. So then with that power, if I give that order, then the person is able to follow. Now, one may ask, okay, then should we wait for us to be perfect before we read and preach and share this Bhagavatam? No, because Srila Prabhupada has given us that it will take you time to be perfect, and this is one of the way to be perfection. Uh, but we have to be very keenly aware of our situation, where we are, what we are dealing with, and we should discuss. However, we should continue reading and glorifying, and to the extent possible, engaging others as well, right? Because that is our duty. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, right, that Brahman Brahmite Kono Bhagavan Jeev, right? Pai Guru Krishna Vatta Beach. And then those who are born in this Bharat Varsha, it is their duty and moral responsibility. So on the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have been given full empowerment, a full authority to preach this culture. So we should do that duty. We should read ourselves and we should share them. So example from Mahabharata, we can see, for example, Maharaj Yudhishthir, right? When he became the huge king, he had his own Indraprastha with full dependence on the Lord. Then he wanted to perform the Rajaswi Yajna, not for his glory, but to establish Lord Krishna, because in that Rajaswi Yajna, the chief guest established, and that would be Lord Krishna. So for glorification of the Lord, he wanted to perform this yajna. So we learned that from Maharaj Yudhishthira. So then the next theme is self-sufficiency and spiritual integrity. Herein, Lord Krishna, he gives direction to Uddhava that for Brahmanas, it is very, very important that they uphold the spiritual integrity. The spiritual purity is of topmost importance. So the Brahmana can accept charity, but if by accepting charity they feel that their spiritual integrity is purity is disturbed, because now they become more like, we have, I think, example in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiva Goswami, right? So I think it's Jiva Goswami, someone may correct me, that he initially, like, he went into a very, very humble stage where he would go and beg at the Simhadwar. But then later on, he gave up that also, because he says that's like prostitute mentality. Once somebody give me charity, then I will start expecting next day he will also give. So that's a very bad mentality. So we see that because accepting charity was um, compromising with his purity, spiritual purity, he gave up that also. Then he would pick up the waste from what is given out by the cows. He will accept that. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associate, when they heard that, they go to his house and they find those, the remnants of the food, and then they eat. And they say, tell him that, oh, you are having such a wonderful treasure and you're not sharing with us, right? So that is the standard our parampara Goswamis, the leaders, have set for us, right? So purity has to be upheld, and the Brahmanas should dedicate themselves to teaching and performing sacrifice. if they are not able to, like if they get disturbed by the acceptance of charity, then they can go ahead and work wherein they can do teaching, performing sacrifice. If that also is uh, causing trouble, then they can collect the grains from the rejected area and just maintain the self-sufficient. Yeah. ठीक है sir. 1 minute. So that is the guidance for the Brahmana that Lord Krishna gave to Uddhavji. And then why? What is the philosophical significance of this? This is again being self-sufficient, depending on the nature. Through this dependence on the nature, we then can realize that this nature is driven by the Lord. So we maintain that dependence on the Lord and maintaining the spiritual purity and the values. So that is the theme. Okay. Then we go to next, the transience of the material life. Here, the key word is detachment, right? The key important word is detachment because we have to understand that this material nature is ephemeral. Ephemeral means nothing is permanent. Everything we have will be changing, will go away, and then we might get it again. So here, Lord Krishna, he gives the example of fleeting experience of travelers. Like in the olden days, it is said that there used to be a place where all the travelers will get together near a well, sit around. They will have some, like, maybe food, drinks, and they will talk to each other, and then they will part away their own way. That is the example Lord Krishna gives for this whole life form we have. That in the end, all of us are travelers, but we get close considering that, okay, someone is my husband, someone is my son, someone is my father, and then we get attached. So it is very important to understand um, the 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 temporary nature and the temporary dukhalyam ashwasatam. So there is temporary and that is a full of misery, right? Dukhalyam. So it is very important to attach that, understand that, and with that in mind, we should detach, right? Only when we do that, then we will get genuine happiness. And in also chapter 15, right? I think Lord gives that example that this whole world is like a reflection of a banyan tree, and then with the knowledge, with the sharp knowledge of the sword, one should detach from this huge banyan tree, which is the illusory material world. Otherwise, very, very difficult, right? Who is one example from Bhagavatam who did that? Bharat Maharaj, right? So it is mentioned that Bharat Maharaj, although he was so young, he had all the opulence, but he detached from everything, from the beautiful wife, from the children, and he gave higher importance to the goal of the, to the Varna ashram. But more than that, yeah, the important part I missed to say, there is this Varna ashram, but important part we discussed that the goal here is to achieve the love of the Supreme Lord. If we forget the goal, then we will get distracted within these rituals, the day-to-day, the rituals, the rules and the regulations and all. They are to achieve that goal, but if we forget, then we'll get lost. So that we have to remember and we have to follow the footsteps. So the thing is, the other important point, with detachment, we get clarity. We get clarity in understanding on what we have to do so we can follow. So our job is to understand that and then reflect on daily basis that, okay, what is actually permanent, what is the real value, what is of high return on investment, the term they use, the ROI. So what is of high ROI, and we put our uh, investment there. What is our investment? Our investment is attention. So wherever our attention goes, our energy flows. So we have to be very thoughtful what we are thinking of, where we are giving attention to. So our attention should be to how I can imbibe the instructions given to us by our Acharya so that we get away and reach the stage at least of Nishtha. Then the next thing is charity and upliftment of devotees. So here Lord Krishna, he mentions, even in Bhagavad Gita, he says that we should not give up these qualities of dan, tapasya. They must be done, but with the right mood. And in this, especially in this chapter, Lord Krishna makes a very, very, what do you call, hope-giving and wonderful verse that those who help the Brahman devotees, Brahmana or the devotees and the devotees who are in need, for them, I become like a ship and immediately rescue them. Like he says that the act of charity is likened to a ship rescuing those adrift in turbulence. So the Lord, he becomes like very, very attracted, and we can attract his grace simply by helping the devotees, simply by being respectful to the devotees, um, at least mentally and physically as well, right? So then what happened? The Lord elevates and also bestow the blessing on the giver. So we should find those opportunities how we can do that. Like whoever helped Srila Prabhupada in his days to establish, the Prabhupada was so merciful. He blessed all of them and they became from hippie to happy simply by helping such a great. And nowadays we are so fortunate in the mission here of ISKCON. There are so wonderful devotees we bless, uh, from Japan to India. I see so many devotees. They are fully dedicated. If we just spend some time with them, then we can feel the purity, we can feel the energy and enthusiasm that yes, I want to go and do that. But no, the problem is that we go back again in the material world, we get lost. But that's why this Sunday weekend classes are there. That's why this daily sadhana is there. So we connect again, recharge. So we start our daily day, just like I think that like how Lord Brahma, when he sleeps, there is a partial destruction. Then again he wakes, he has to start from start. So that way, like every morning we start from scratch. Uh, don't think that okay, I have this so much chanting, then I know. Start from scratch, know the program, the schedule, start from scratch with full enthusiasm and attention. So as we are more attentive, then we'll be more energetic and enthusiastic to follow. So that is about charity. Now in Bhagavatam, example is of Ranti Devi, right? How like he's the extreme example. We cannot imitate that, but he's the example there. How through charity he achieved the grace. Then the Grihastha. So Lord Krishna gives a lot of instructions for Grihastha. How should be the life, how they have to what for they have to follow. The key thing here is they must maintain the balance between the family affair and the spiritual growth. The priority is spiritual development, and uh, but we must not neglect our day-to-day responsibility as well, right? So we must not think that the family life is a distraction. We must rather use it so that we elevate ourselves and others also. The concept of detachment within the domestic life underscores the vital importance, maintaining the spiritual focus amidst the demands of the material. So, like I said, in this chapter, there is one important one verse which attracted me, among others also, is that Krishna says that we must like have the mentality like we are a guest at our, so that then we don't have that attachment and we don't feel that false proprietorship or ownership. We'll have the right vision of who is the correct owner and we leverage it. The next is illusion and enlightenment. So what is the theme here? That attachment to me mine will create a bondage, and the freedom from that begins when we see everything belongs to Krishna, which is the Yukta Vedanta. So this series of text verses given by the Lord, they remind the dangers that are there in attachment. What is the danger? When we become attached, then we forget our day-to-day goal or our key goal, which is restoring our spiritual freedom or restoring our spiritual love. And then we get lost into that. Again, the example from Bhagavatam, we saw like how Bharat Maharaj, right? Even at the Bhava stage, he got attracted to a deer and then he has to take birth as a deer because he was thinking of a deer. Now, they are very elevated souls. What they do is to instruct us. So we cannot blame them, but they are teaching us to that the Lord is teaching us through Bharat Maharaj that if we do not take correct steps to detach from this, then we will not be able to make this. So we have to make every effort to get liberation from such attachments, and awaken our true self. And how we do that, I think we know we follow the program given to us by our Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and not just follow mechanically, but try our best to do that with the full conscious endeavor and attention. So the internal thought process must change. That will give a express growth to bhakti. Finally, ashraya, dependence on the grace of the Lord. Right. So in the next chapter also we'll see there is lot of difficult practices mentioned for the Varna ashrama. The people who want to go to the people who get into this Varna prasth, they have to perform very, very difficult austerities, which are near impossible for us. For Kali Yuga, Srila Prabhupada clearly says that the austerity is follow the four regulated principle, chant 16. That is the austerity. We are done. Right. Uh, but the whole purpose of this austerity is we give do the penance so that we get the purity, and we also understand that our ultimate shelter is Lord Sri Krishna, right? And he is the he is like he has a boundless mercy. He has huge care for me. He has huge care for everyone. He will provide us what is needed at the right time. So when we develop that level of dependence on the grace of the Lord, then we grow in. So why is this? What is the philosophical significance here? That authentic security comes from complete surrender, right? And there is an emphasis on reliance on the divine mercy, and sincere devotion will nourish in that environment. Again, the example here from Bhagavatam we have is, for example, Gajendra. So this particular elephant, uh, we saw in the past time that how he becomes materially afflicted. He's attacked by this crocodile, and nothing material can help him. Only finally, when he depend on the Lord, the grace of the Lord. I mean, if you think of that pastime, it is very interesting. There is one crocodile, and there are so many elephants around his family, but nobody able to help. Sometimes I really wonder, maybe you can answer that later. If no, like he is a king of the elephant. He has this whole army of the elephants. Why the other elephants could not go in and kick that crocodile? Where did they fail? But I think maybe they tried. Maybe that's an invention, and they did not succeed. But the point is here, the ultimate shelter or ashraya is the Lord, and that we cultivate and understand through maintaining the balance between duty, spirituality, and and unwavering devotion to the soul. And having that awareness, the self-awareness that we bring. So that complete the BBT purpose. Now we will analyze what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has to say. Now here is the difference I saw between the teachings of readings of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and what Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktivedanta purports are. So which more or less both are same, right? They are like they mention that Krishna established this Varnashram system. He has given these guidelines so that we grow in our progressively grow. Uh, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a lot of emphasis on following this whole system very, very carefully and meticulously. Whereas uh, Srila Prabhupada emphasized, because he knows we Kali Yuga people, right? So he knows we are not able to follow. So he emphasized very direct on the Krishna Bhakti, following the four regulative principle and chanting and reading and doing the service with the intent. So that is the like like difference based on the current situation. There's no actual difference here, but the emphasis of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is more on following the structure very meticulously. So let us go through this theme. The first theme is devotional service, bhakti and varnashram. So I think we covered this. There are four varnas, four ashram. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself says that they are established by me, right? I am the one who established that. But I am above them, right? So um, Krishna is not affected by them. He's above all that. He does that so that he can teach us. So the key goal here is attaining the selfless bhakti or loving devotional service unto him. So this is a framework that the Lord has given us, that while fulfilling the social responsibility is paramount, it should, the key important thing is the intention here is nurturing the love of God, right? If we do with this perspective, then it transforms the mundane obligation into spiritual zone. So wonderful it is, right? Whatever we are doing now as it is, if only we change the mindset, being it as a service to the Lord, everything given by the Lord, I'm doing it for the Lord, then it becomes a spiritual journey, motivating individual to approach their responsibility with purpose and devotion. Right? So that is there. And then in this case, the great example we have from Bhagavatam is Ambrish Maharaj. He has all the material opulence, and how he uses each and every activity of sweeping, taking the darshan, all doing it for the Lord. Walking, so everybody walks, we go for a walk and all. But how Ambrish Maharaj says that uh, great are those legs who walk to the temple. Great are those hands who wipe the and serve and broom the temple, clean the temple, and all that. Through the eyes we take wonderful darshan. Through the ears we hear. Through the nose we take the smell the flowers or incense offered to the Lord. So that then transfers. So these same things, seeing, walking, eating, all these, they can be, these simple steps can be transformed into pure bhakti that is given to us by Ambrish Maharaj. Now, Krishna also explains different type of bhakti, right? The detailed and technical explanation is there given here, karma mishra, jnana mishra, all this. And he also explained that topmost bhakti. The topmost bhakti with the example given is the love of gopis for Krishna. In my understanding, we probably can never achieve that, right? But we can always, the example we have is in the Ramayana, the sages, right? So they become the Rishичari gopis. So that can be one hope if we follow. But even worshipping them and begging them for mercy will elevate us. Right? So reading their example, so gopis of the Vrindavan are the most pure. Among the gopis is Shri Radharani. Right? So she is our guide, our mentor, our the mercy, we get our mercy through Radharani. If we worship in the mood through Jiva Goswami, through our teachings given by Srila Prabhupada, through the chanting, then when she recommends our name to the Lord, then automatically Lord will be gracing us and giving us. So why this differentiation is necessary? So we need to understand the differentiation, because then until we don't know what is the pure gold, how will we achieve that? So we need to know. That's why we had that difference, right? 999.9 all that. So if you, as Prabhupada always give the example, if you want to buy gold, you must know how it is. Otherwise, you will be cheated. So we must know what is pure bhakti. And our acharyas has given this direction, example, and also so many verses. Anya Abhilashita Sunyam Jnana Karma Adi Anavrita. So wonderful verses there. That this is pure bhakti. So that is it. Then the next theme here is the role of time and knowledge. Okay. So here, as we were discussing yesterday, Radhavina Prabhu, in this section is mentioned how the Vedic knowledge and dharma can become obscure over time because the purity of the people goes away. It is not that the Vedas, their purity go away. The people, the environment, that is not pure, so the understanding degrades. Also during the pralaya and all, the things are destroyed, but then the Lord again reestablishes this. That's what he says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4. And then this is also mentioned that it is a cyclical nature of time, right? That we go through these different ages and then see that, right? Okay, so that is the part. And then, yeah, starting of this chapter is about, okay, how in the initial Satya Yuga there is only one, we discussed that yesterday, but there's only one Veda called Krita. They all worship the bull, and everybody is very, very exalted, un what is it? Pure devotee of the Lord, and they are all engaged in full devotional service. So just by a simple one-time narration, they can understand and memorize the whole Veda. So that is there, right? So also in this case, we can see the example of Lord Brahma, right? How Lord Brahma, he is Swayambhu. He just hears the word tapa one time and then he understands. He does this long tapasya, and then he gets to see the whole the darshan of the Lord in Vrindavan, and then he brings us. So we are again very, very fortunate in this sampradaya, Brahma Gauriya Madhava sampradaya, that our Brahma is very, very exalted personality and devotee. And the Leela he perform is also so wonderful. He performed this the whole through the Brahma Vimol Leela. We get to understand how Krishna can expand. Right? So that is the point. The next theme is the nature of the supreme dharma. Okay. What is the Paro Dharma? We know all, we have read it many, many times. The Paro Dharma is like keeping this whole devotion and purity of for the service of the Lord as the highest order. And the example we have is Bali Maharaj. He instructed by his own Guru Maharaj that not to give the charity, but he rejects that and upholds. So we have to understand that. So, then the next theme given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is social order and spiritual development. So this we covered yesterday, the social order, Brahma, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, why they are, and depending on every individual's inclination, nature, they can take to a particular varna and move to a different ashram. As Sharat Prabhu mentioned yesterday, it was never decided by birth. It was, I think, later, I think, through the foreign invasion and all, Britishers, they change that. So that's what we understood. But in the original situation, everybody could take up any order depending on their natural inclination. Right? And I think we see that also, right? As we discussed the example, like Vishwamitra was actually Kshatriya, but he becomes one of the seven sages, right? And then he becomes a Brahmana. And then Parshuram is a Brahman, but he takes up the role of Kshatriya, he takes up the weapon for a higher purpose. So, depending on the situation, person may change, but the over top theme is serving the Lord, right? And establishing the loving relationship with Him. Qualities and duties of each varna. So that we have covered many times, and also Krishna explained gradually for each of them. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also highlights, and then there's also example of Kapil Dev, the Kapil Muni, like he marries, Devuti, how his whole pastime is, his whole achran is, he uh, follows the order of his father and the Guru Brahma. He marries Devuti, he has 9 daughters, and then he, as soon as he has a son, then he detach and walk away and gives up everything. So the key thing is fully immersive bhakti should be the key goal, and the varna and the ashram are the framework to reach them, gradually elevate. Then this is the universal ethical principle. Um, so the Lord here, he mentions that the principle of non-violence, truthfulness, is not just for the member of Varna or some particular Varna or particular ashram, but it is for every and all individual. Right? So he said these are basic things: non-violence, truthfulness, purity, cleanliness, they should be for everyone to follow. Then, depending whether you take Brahman, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra, there is different, um, karma or duties you have to perform. But these are the basic universal, hence the term universal, that every living being has to, or at least a human being has to follow. So there is like underlying inclusive, like it is not like only Brahmanas have to do this and Shudras have to do. No, uh, like he clearly mentions that those who are unclean, lustful, jealous, and all, they are not even part of the varnashram. They are outside. Right. So to be part of the varnashram, which is inclusive and open to everyone, we must have these basic qualities: compassion. This is applicable for all. And then we see how, in the recent example, we see how Haridas Thakur, right? Irrespective, as we saw, Bhakti is totally independent. So, irrespective of his birth and all, how he followed all this, and then he was given the title of Raja. So, concluding these from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur for these 1 to 21, these themes, they explain the whole Varnashram framework, the four Varna, the four Ashram, but the top underlying theme here is that it is for the achieving the love of the body. That must not be compromised or lost. Okay, there is a short break. Let me see. Is everyone there? Is all going okay? I think it's all simple, nothing complicated, but yeah, would like to hear any thoughts.
No, this is it's a nice Vishwanath Chakravarti. Sometimes I don't know. I feel more connected with
Yes,
Vishwanath
sir.
Chakravarti's purports. I should not say not because you gave very nice thing. How Srila Prabhupada views and Vishwanath Chakravarti, he was there few centuries before, right? So much earlier, that period was totally different. So he wanted to retain whatever the scripture talks about, right? Bring the purity in that Varna and Ashram, and he carries the same essence. Whereas Srila Prabhupada seeing the disturbed, net society, so he said that the Varnashram Dharma, asking somebody to follow truthfulness and all that may not really get into the head, but rather focus on, serving the Lord, and that
Yes.
will do. So purpose are both are the same. I think that was a very nice point. Another point came here is authentic security, right? Authentic security can come, but complete surrender to the Lord. Beautiful word. We understand that, but the way it is put so nicely, authentic security can only by complete surrender to the Lord. So lesser you surrender, lesser security will be there, right? So nice, Prabhuji, and you explained so nicely. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, then with everyone's permission, I will continue. Sir, Prabhu, anything you were saying?
No, thank you.
Okay, so I will continue then, and then we'll finish. Okay. Oh, okay. I was going. Okay. So we'll continue now. Here again, verses 22 to 39. Here, Lord Krishna to Uddhavji, he mentions the duties and practice of brahmachari. Right. So let's see what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is guiding us. Right. So again, he mentioned that brahmachari, he experiences a transformative second birth through the series of purificatory ceremonies and culminating in powerful initiation of the Gayatri Mantra. Right. So this pivotal moment ignites the spiritual journey, mandating residence in Guru's ashram and dedicated study of Vedic literature. In the verses, as I said, like Lord Krishna gives a very, very detailed explanation, like how brahmachari should not cut any hair, should not cut the nail, should not worry about cleaning the dental, but full focus, like so that they can preserve the full energy and full focus on the order of the Guru and following this study of the Vedic scriptures. No time pass, no pastime, right? Only pastime, only hearing the pastime, no time pass. Now, in our in our Bhagavatam, we can see how Narad Muni how he inspires like Dhruv Maharaj, such a young kid, but he is very angry. So he inspires him. And then he also had Prahlad Maharaj when he was in the womb. He stayed in the ashram. Just the mother Kayatu staying in the ashram of Narad Muni while Prahlad Maharaj is in the womb. He get the instruction. So like the powerful guru and this environment can make a striking uh, striking dent or impact on the soul to take up this. In the modern times, I think we see how Srila Prabhupada, he has also inspired everyone, and his devotees now have made this very wonderful. There are so many different Radha Desh and all this. There are so many Gurukul and ashrams that have been built. So, where possible, we can have our children take that opportunity, be there, if not full time, then part time, and bring that environment, right? So, even if we try to do that small time in a year and all, then that can give us that impetus and build that purity in us that can sustain right throughout the rest of the year. So that is the then the austerity and self-control, that is ascetic lifestyle and self-control. So the brahmachari he embraces the life of total simplicity and austerity, minimal possession. As I said, like they have to carry only the danda, nothing else, and the specific dress code, dietary restriction, period of silence. Like it is mentioned that brahmachari must always remain silent. Only speak when the guru has to tell him to speak, otherwise no. And they should go for begging and then offer that to Guru only when the Guru says eat, then eat. But why so much austerity? Because through this asceticism, self-restraint, they may foster the mental clarity. It deepens the spiritual engagement. Krishna, I'm getting a phone call. I have to pick one. Hello. This is a I'm sorry. Yeah, so that is the main reason of the purity, right? Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see there is a brahmachari. He drinks only milk, right? Uh, and then he's a great devotee. I think where they perform the kirtan. So he meets the exalted devotee of Lord Chaitanya, where they perform the night kirtan, the nocturnal kirtan, and then he requests the devotee, please allow him to see that kirtan of the Lord. So when he is taken there, first Lord Chaitanya chastised that, oh, you are drinking only milk. Even the snake drink only milk. What's great? But then he accepts, right? He accepts. So the brahmachari has to have that austerity and then, but the key thing is that is to maintain the purity so that they have clarity and perform the devotion. That should not be lost. If someone becomes proud of that austerity, then the main purpose is deviated. So that we have to understand. Then worship and service to Guru. Guru Seva. That is the very, very important we see how in our current time also, Srila Prabhupada, he throughout his lifetime he was meditating how he can satisfy and follow the order of his Gurudev. And then his disciple, we see His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So wonderful, so much like it's like a miracle he has done here in Mayapur when we go and see the Vedic planetarium that is coming up. And the way the His Holiness he's staying, his whole body is so difficult stage, but still so much potency. When he gives lecture, many people come to hear, and even when you hear that, you can feel in heart, like he's communicating you directly in the heart. He still goes every day. He distribute Chaitanya Charitamrita Bhagavatam. So inspiring. So why he does? He says always that is to please Srila Prabhupada. So Guru Seva is very, very important. Whether the Guru is with you in physical or away from you, you can always serve the Guru Maharaj. How? by following the instruction. And through that, then Krishna becomes very, very pleased and then he blesses us. We'll have to step again for 1 minute. Sorry. Apologies for this disturbance. This is what we call the family life, right? Too many things happen at the same time. So I cannot call it Grasta Ashrama, but yeah, Grasta life. So um, yeah, so this is the Guru Seva is that foundational for spiritual evolution, imparting vital lessons of humility and devotion that force a strong connection to divine through the revered authority. So we follow that Dasanudas. We do not approach Lord Krishna directly. We approach through the devotees of the devotees through Radharani. That is our path. Right? Then celibacy and control of desire, celibacy and purity, right? Through so like in Bhagavatam, we have example of the four Kumar, how they decide that they will always keep their body of 5 year age. Why? So that the body should not grow and develop that desire, right? And then finally, when they reach Vaikunt Dham, they get this aroma of tulsi. Then they also become the devotee of the Lord. So celibacy here is not just a practice, but the cornerstone of spirituality, spiritual purity and focus. In all the Bhagavatam, pastime we hear like how even Daksha, he first orders his children that okay, go and perform this tapasya. So celibacy and austerity, they are very, very important, right? So that is the guidance given to us by Lord Krishna through Uddhavji. Then transition to household life. So again, we covered this when after finishing the brahmachari student, when if they want, they can transition to the household life, or they can take up to the sannyas order or to the varnashram, or to the varna prasada. It is up to their psychophysical situation. However, the key point here is Lord Krishna gives a structured progression, like depending on your psychophysical status, one should grow accordingly and don't take a unnecessary jump without a proper qualification. Because if that is the case, then you will cause damage. I think in Prabhupada Leela, we see there were some enthusiastic devotees who would come to Prabhupada and say that, okay, I will be like Haridas Thakur, I will chant 168 rounds a day or whatever that is. Then, they will go around other devotees and boast around that. Then Prabhupada would make a comment that he would not be able to sustain even for a week. And that's what that truth happens. So we should always be under the guidance of our mentor, our spiritual mentor. ISKCON has built this wonderful system, Bhakti Vriksha. We have a mentor, we have a guru. We should be under the guidance and share our report. And based on the inputs they give, we follow that and grow into that. Then the next thing, social and familial duties. So while doing all this, we have to be very, very careful that like Lord has given this essential guidelines for marriage. And the importance is that key important thing here is both the family life and the spiritual life has to be in balance. Priority clearly is to the spiritual life, right? That I think we covered that theme several times. Here there is an example given, I think can think of it like Prithu Maharaj, right? He comes as a king, a royal king in a family, but he inspires everyone and he himself does all the required yajna, make the environment nice for others. So first we purify ourselves, make our environment, and then based on our energy, power, situation, whatever is given to us, we help others also. So collectively, when we do that, then the Lord becomes happy and awards us growth. Purity and cleanliness. I think we have covered this throughout this the concept of purity. The brahmachari is called to uphold the purity through regular bathing and conscious avoidance of impure activities. The commitment to cleanness is regarded as direct reflection of spiritual purity. Right. So this point of like there is like at least like 12 to 14 or 15 verses. One minute, please. So yeah, where I got it. So this is about your purity and cleanness, more about brahmachari. The emphasis on purity in thought, word, and deed resonates deeply with the Vedic belief that physical cleanness facilitates the spiritual cleanness. So yeah, why so much emphasis? And I think we can feel within ourselves, right, throughout the day when we uh, take a bath and come out. I at least feel, I think you all as well, there is the energy level is much different than prior. And when you sit down and meditate with minimal or no food, just with the bathing, then you can focus much more. And that is the goal. Having that focus is very, very important, right? So, in conclusion, these duties and practice they delineate this passage that are mentioned in this passage. They offer a framework for the life of brahmachari. The critical importance is of discipline, humility, devotion, pursuit of spiritual knowledge. So, it's again the goal here, as we said, is to achieve that loving service of the Lord. If by doing all these activity we become, there is that pride that comes in, right? For example, in Bhagavatam, we have this, right? Shringi Rishi, he's a brahmachari, very, very powerful, right? Although what he did was under the direction of the Lord, we can say that's how we got Bhagavatam. But in clear terms, even his father chastised him. So that is one example of power misguided, right? Power in wrong hands. So have that purity gives lot of power, siddhis, and Lord gives us that warning that if we are not careful and thoughtful of our intent, there is a risk that we will misuse that. Then the last section here, verses 40 to 58, the spiritual responsibilities of the Varnas. So there are 8 themes here given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Let's go through them. Now, a lot of this might again seem a repetition, but I will see what we can find different, right? So, duties of the Varnas that we saw again, like for Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, the duties like for Kshatriya, the king, he has to be a very, very powerful, courageous. He must protect himself and he must protect his praja, engage them in pious activities or dharmic activities, make sure there is a path. Whatever the sinful activity praja does, some portion goes to the king as well. Now, in our Bhagavatam, wonderful example we have is Parikshit Maharaj. How when he saw that there is this Shudra who is chastising the bull, then immediately he takes up his sword and wants to punish him. Then later on, he understands that, okay, it is the influence of Kali, nothing like it is a gradual influence. Still, he engages his prajas intelligently that the Kali effect is minimized and minimized. So same is like there is Brahman. He should be teaching the Shastra. He should be engaging the society in proper activities. He should be looked upon as an emblem of truthfulness, knowledge, austerity, and he should be the guide. Like in our modern day, we can say we always I say that like Srila Prabhupada is there, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj is there, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. They are like exalted, right? And then the difference between Brahman and Vaishnava, that is very nicely given to us by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. That Vaishnava is automatically a Brahman as well. So for this, that distinction or differentiation should not be there. Brahman, following all that, may or may not be Vaishnav, but he has a full opportunity and chance to convert and transform into being a Vaishnav. And Vaishnav by default becomes a Brahman, like Haridas Thakur, right? So he's not born in a Brahmin family or any, but when it was um, uh, Advaita Acharya, he wants to give the Shraddha Patra. Who does he invite? He invites Haridas Thakur, and he says feeding one Vaishnav is equivalent to feeding so many others, right? So, and the Lord becomes happy. He eats through their mouth as well. So these are the duties of different varna given Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So there is responsibilities, there is privileges, but the key guiding thing is all of that is to please the Lord. If that does not happen, then it is some siddhi, then it is waste of effort. So some siddhir hari toshlam. It should please the Lord. Austerity and self-sufficiency. So this Brahman, as we discussed, he should earn his living through noble pursuit of teaching and sacrifice, right? And if he can rely on charity, that is good. But if he thinks that charity is tarnishing his image or spiritual integrity, then he can take up to the task or activity of teaching and doing the sacrifice or yajna, right? And if that is not also available, then he should stay on the leftover grains. But Lord Krishna says to Uddhava, in no circumstance should Brahman serve a Shudra or wrong master. So that is not good, right? So that is clearly the philosophical theme or philosophical importance here is purity has to be maintained specifically for the Brahman. Here we see the example, for example, Sukdev Goswami, right? He is like a Avadut. He is actually not willing to come out of the mother's womb because he is afraid of Krishna Maya, right? So that means we also have to be afraid of that Krishna's Maya. When Krishna gives the order that, yeah, you will be protected, then he comes, but he runs away. But then through the Atmaram verses, he's attracted. Then, like in Ved Vyas, he teaches him in this whole Bhagavatam, and then Bhagavatam is taught. So that is like one good example. Austerity, self-sufficiency. He also gives in the initial chapters of Bhagavatam, he gives that there is enough in this world for us to be sustained. So there should be no worry about scarcity and all. The Lord has made all the good arrangement for us. Then knowing the temporary nature of the material attachments, dukkhalaya mashastra. So here we should understand that this whole material wealth is like fleeting dreams. Then the liberated soul should, he should always think of how he can look for the permanent happiness. So the permanent happiness, we get the knowledge from Shastra, is in the Vaikundam, is in the service of the Lord. So that whatever we doing this now, like reading Bhagavatam, that is our permanent bhakti asset. That never goes away. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna asked, if a devotee practices, but he is not able to sustain, is he like a raven cloud? What is his destination? Then Krishna answers, right? We all know that whatever we do in our bhakti is kept in the spiritual account, which never depletes. It's always growing and growing. So we should understand what is temporary, what is permanent, and we should apply our focus, attention, energy more on the permanent than on the temporary. Then the next theme, householder or grahastha responsibility. So the householder responsibility again is mentioned that do the daily sacrifice, care for the dependents, must have integrity, and must maintain healthy distance from excessive attachment. That is a very, very important. Must maintain healthy distance from excessive attachment, because in this environment we get prone to that for family. And it should delineate, the text mentions about 5 daily sacrifices, offering to sages, forefather, demigod, living entities, fellow human. For us, Srila Prabhupada has given this program. Once we do that, everything is covered in that program, like the offering to the Guru, the Tulsi Puja, the worship to all the Vaishnavas, like we conclude with this nice mantra, uh, Vancha Kalpatarubhesa, right? So that is offering to all the Vaishnava devotees. So thinking of them and taking their uh, blessings so that we can continue. So this is the importance. So like we see in Bhagavatam, the example I can think is Nand Maharaj. Our Nand Maharaj, although he is father of Krishna, the Supreme Personality, but he follows the whole. He is into the Vaishya community. He protect the cow, but he follow all this very properly, all the sanskar, everything. So even like we have this wonderful pastime, right? He is so much exalted that he knows the Ekadasi at first time. The servant of Varun doesn't know, right? So he lost and he gets. But the point I'm trying to make is, as a householder, we must follow all that, the guidelines that are given to us, and we must encourage our family member also. We must engage them accordingly. Then the next thing, illusion of ownership and attachment. So that we covered, like we become attached, right? And then we get into illusion. The main thing is given in this material world, when we become illusion that this is mine, everything belongs to me. So that we have to get rid of. How we do that? By this regular practice and cultivation of devotion, right? And the glaring example over here is Bali Maharaj, right? How he knows that everything will be taken away from him. He is given that warning, but to uphold that, the devotional attitude, and that I am a great grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, such a great devotee. How can I say no once I have committed? Once I have committed, I will have to give. And if it is to the Lord, very good. So he gets punished also, but that is just to highlight his importance. So we have this wonderful example, so many examples from Bhagavatam, and even in our current life, the Srila Prabhupada, right? Like he's householder, but always thinking how he can serve the Guru Maharaj, and finally he able to successfully do that uh, for the for the for the what do you call, happiness and success, for the happiness and fulfilling the order of his Guru Maharaj, and through that, see how many life he has transformed. Then Krishna, he also instructs on Kshatriya. What is the role of a leader or a Kshatriya? Again, the example that comes to me is Parikshit Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, Yudhishthir, how they are all courageous king, and they safeguard the citizen, their integrity, not just for their their selfish thing, but one to please the Lord and also to protect. So that is the role of the Kshatriya leader. Then the transcendental perspective on the family life is given here, right? So it captures that emotional turbulence a householder face regarding familial well-being, eliminating fear of abandonment, helplessness. It ultimately stresses the necessity of viewing oneself as a transient guest in the world. So one thing to highlight here is, even Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if when in this stage of life, like we are in now, when we are having, completely, powerful senses, uh, if we do not control ourselves at this stage, then at later stage, impossible to control. As we become older, we might get so much disease, like we might forget things, we might not be able to stand up, we might not be able to offer obeisances. The simple act of offering obeisances is so important. It is one of the prominent angas of bhakti given to us. So while we are healthy, fit, we must do our best that we offer proper sastang dandavat pranam to the Lord in a proper prayerful mood and asking for blessings to grow. The Lord really observes that and rewards that. When we see any senior exalted brahmachari, we should not be lazy to not offer. We must immediately offer. That is very important, because we don't know when we get that stage that old. There is so many disease that come, right? There is this knee pain, back pain, all that happens, and then it will be even difficult just to bow down also. Then how will we get mercy? Of course, we can do that by physically through our emotion, at that if we are that healthy or strong enough. But while we have all these arrangements, facility, we must make the best use of that. So there are simple things like offering obeisances, bowing down when singing Tulsi Arti, or looking at the deity or looking at the exalted. We must not leave that. And in our family, we must train our children, our subordinates to follow that. In the end, the path to devotion, right? So, okay, sorry, the path to liberation, right? So here, the final concluding verses, they assert that genuine liberation is attained by mastering the art of detachment from family bond, material possession, while and not just like detachment is one part, but we don't do that dry detachment, right? That Lord is impersonal, and that is not the point here. It must be to fulfill the spiritual responsibility. The key goal is developing that spiritual mood, and that will give us the bliss, right? That will automatically detach us, as we have heard many times. With bhakti, Gyan Vairagya automatically comes. It's a package. So we aim for bhakti, everything else is given. So the core teaching here is the numerous tradition arise from this transcending the cycle of attachment and desire. Right. So liberation come through detached duty and devotion. Moksha is freedom from the false identity we have. One example we can see here how, for example, Ajamel is blessed, like just the little bit service he did in the early age, and then somehow or other the devotees reach his house, they instruct him, okay, uh, name your son as Narayan. And then he becomes attached to that young son. And just by saying that Narayan, then he gets that second chance, right? So he gets that path. So the same thing if we do in a proper mood, even if we attempt to do in a proper mood, how much that will be pleasing to the devotees, the Lord, right? Also, Mother Devoti, she instructs that she was, when Kapil Dev is leaving, then she says, "Oh, I have been become." Also, she's playing a role here, right? That I have been become deceived by this illusory energy. You were there with me for so long, but I could not take the spiritual guidance from you. Rather, I was fully focused on material. So she is instructing us when all the facilities are there for us, we must do our best to take the best from all the guidance and instruction of Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and try our best. And now we are having this wonderful Govinda Bhasya. So we must be proactively trying to read, understand, and then discuss about that. So in conclusion, all these thematic elements showcase profound philosophical insight of Bhagavatam. They emphasize the significance of duty, self-sufficiency, ephemeral nature of the material existence, and the journey to liberation through spiritual awareness and practice. So, with that, I conclude my understanding of this chapter 17. In essence, the chapter 17, the Lord again is telling about the Varna and Ashram. In the current day, age, and scenario, um, it is not practical to follow line by line or word by word what Lord has given this, but we are very fortunate through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, they have translated all of that for us and given us the practical path based on Desha Kala Patra, time, place, circumstance. So, uh, again, we must leverage this opportunity to the fullest. I'm saying that to myself, and then do our endeavor so that we can put our energy in this, profound path of bhakti and achieve our goal of pure love to the Lord. Hare Krishna. So that's all I had. I apologize for all the mistake. I have not been perfect. Yeah, it's not perfect in any sense, but yeah, you all are devotees, so please guide me what went wrong and add what I missed. So, Sarat Prabhu, what you want to do first? Should we do the recap or the discussion? How do we want to?
Yeah, recap, then the discussion.
Then the discussion. Okay. I
So
might have
Tamuki,
to stop at
Yes.
8 10. So I will make you the
Okay. Samta Mataji,
yeah,
you can do the recap. Thereafter, we will have the discussion and comments on what we have learned today.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class as usual. I really like the way you illustrate by giving examples from Bhagavatam. That is your USP.
right. So
One second, I'll just share my file.
sure.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very wonderful session.
Right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very wonderful session. Many things to take over.
Thank you.
Take away home.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful class. So wonderful examples also
Very good.
from
Thank you.
Bhagavatam. Very
It
nice,
is all,
Prabhuji.
the beauty is in eyes of beholder. You all are exalted, so you see the beauty. Thank you.
And takeaways like it is not the time pass, but here we are learning pastimes. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again. So let us start with the recap of yesterday's class. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Yesterday's class was lesson 167A. What were the topics that were covered in this particular chapter 17, 58 verses? Yes, Nityasaki Mataji, you wanted to.
It is the path of devotion, understanding Varnashram, Dharma, and about devotion. So
Yeah.
it is just Varnashram, it will be just dry. Okay, but it is with the devotion. Okay, so it becomes Daivi Varnashram. And so the duties and practices of Brahmacharya and Grihasthashram, at length from 22 to 39 verses. And okay, yes, Raksha Mataji. Then the spiritual responsibilities of Varnas and the occupational duties. So the 58 verses, so amongst that, the 40 verses. Okay, we did with. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Lord explains Uddhava about the importance of Varnashram system and why it came into the picture. Okay, so we go ahead. We will discuss all the thematic points one by one. On slide 2, what does the Supreme Personality of Godhead do to impart profound spiritual truths? What does Lord do to give us the purpose of life, to reveal the spiritual truth?
As Hamsa, he
Lord takes the
gives.
form of Hansa and
Ah,
to read all these teachings.
no, Rajkumari Mataji, you'll say again. What did you say?
Lord Krishna takes the form of Hansa to teach all these about this.
Only the
Yes.
form of Hamsa?
No, in different. This is a form of Hansa in the Satyuga, and and in other periods he
He
take
takes
different
various forms to impart spiritual
Correct.
truths.
Yeah. So like how he Hamza is mentioned for the Satyuga here, but Lord takes various forms to impart spiritual knowledge or the spiritual truth in all the yugas. Okay. So then what does Lord do as Hamsa? In Satyuga?
Lord highlights the role of brahmachari and
Yes.
householder also.
Yeah. He explains how should be the conduct of a brahmachari and a grahastha. Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Mataji. Then what do the divine incarnations do? The Lord who comes, incarnates himself in various forms in different periods.
Divine
What do they?
incarnations, instruments in our guiding humanity for the
They guide humanity.
realizations towards realization of spiritual responsibilities.
Yeah, they guide us. They guide us to pursue spiritual
Spiritual
responsibilities.
responsibilities.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So then we go to the next point. Now, what illustrates evolution of human society? What transition shows that the human society is evolving?
Hare Krishna. Madam.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
yeah, so here it talks about Satyuga. It's how the society was. The people were called Hamsas. They were pure and all that. How it
Yeah.
transited in Treta Yuga. When
Yeah.
Varnashram was brought in. So as sorry, as the period passes, as we see also, the Vedas, purity is not lost, but
Yeah.
as dharmas, drops one leg each, the people's observation changes, their realization changes. So Lord also gives the tools to adjust. So again here, Varnashram was brought, so some structure will be there. In the Satyuga,
Yeah.
there was no need of structure. So
Yes.
Treta Yuga structure was brought. So harmoniously people can live because the people become less intelligent, less religious,
Yeah.
all those things. So how compassion is a lot we can see as it progresses. Treta Yuga, some things were given. Dwapar Yuga, something was given. Kali
Yeah.
Yuga, Lord comes and gives you different procedure. So throughout the process, Lord, this is called evolution. But the one central theme is that his compassion that this fallen soul should go back. That
Correct.
remains the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So you actually answered all my other questions also, following questions also. Thank you, Prabhuji. So this transition from one social order to the establishment of the Varnashram system shows that the society is evolving. So this this illustrates that the human society is evolving from time to time. As Prabhuji explained, how were the people in Satyuga, and then there was this need of establishment of Varnashram system in Treta Yuga. So then in Satyuga, people were called Krita Yuga. Why? They
So,
were,
they were, Treta, because they could fulfill the desire, right? Desire in the sense of, elevation. Uh, there was no other distraction, much
yeah,
distraction in that the Treta Yuga. So this was the one way also good Yuga, but there were also other things in that. So they were able to perform what they want, right? There was not much of the other distraction compared to other
correct.
Yugas. Yeah.
All were unalloyed devotees. All
Yeah.
were Hamsas. In
Yeah.
Satyuga, they were naturally inclined towards devotional service and towards the Lord. Hence, it was called Krita Yuga. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. So then we go ahead. Okay, one more very important question. Why does human faced challenges to in the growing times? Why do human face challenges and they fall into the why there was this requirement for transition? What happened that this transition came into place?
Because the purity declined and the responsibilities, different responsibilities were great.
And why did the
were-
purity decline? Very important cause of the decline in the purity.
The Satyuga, they call it the bull. It's of all four pillars and the religion. As by definition, the Lord Treta Yuga, one drops, eventually it drops. So the
So
consciousness
why
of
was this dropping happen, Prabhuji? My
but
question
that
is,
is
what was
what
the cause?
the God creates that situation. Treta Yuga, something will happen. Dwapar Yuga, something will happen. Kali Yuga will happen. It over the period of time it deteriorates. One can argue on that because Lord has given the knowledge
Yeah,
in
but what is
such
the
a
cause of this deterioration? Very important point. The main cause of the deterioration.
Due
Anybody
to
wants to?
Educational duties.
The diverse needs and qualities of individuals
So
differed.
what are they getting diversed into? What is changing?
Sense gratification or become more and more.
These are the symptoms, but
Symptom.
what is the cause?
Rise of structural model.
Are you looking at the deterioration of dharma that has
Yeah,
nobody
but what is
following?
causing the deterioration of dharma? See, in Satyuga, people all were hamsas, all were unalloyed devotees, all were perfect. But Treta Yuga, it changed. What was the cause of it?
Because the needs and qualities of the
The
individual
evolution of human society changed.
Yeah, but why? Very important point that Prabhuji mentioned in one of the slides. I don't think it is here, or maybe in other point is because they went away from the divine. They did not connect to the divine that much.
The purity
So
of
the
devotion
going
failed.
away from the Lord caused all these problems. The dharma deteriorated, the times changed. So only thing is they started going away from the divine. That was the cause of all this.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we go ahead to this particular slide. What are Vedas and from where do they emanate?
Vedas are reservoirs of knowledge and spiritual wisdom, and they emanate from Supreme Lord himself.
They come from Lord only. Okay, thank you, Mataji. And then what does Om symbolize?
The essence of universe and divine consciousness.
Yeah. So Om is all the Vedas, all the sacred texts are in this syllable Om, which symbolizes essence of universe and divine consciousness, as Mataji said. Okay, and what is the
Brahman?
pivotal?
Actually, in Satyuga, the prominence was Brahman, and Brahman represents through Om, right?
Yeah.
Charu Prabhuji also gave. So
Yeah.
there was no Krishna, there was no Rama. People were not worshiping Hare Krishna. Those times
Yeah.
they were meditating on Om.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And all the knowledge was encapsulated in this one syllable only. So hence everybody was meditating on Om. Thank you, Prabhuji. And what is the pivotal role of the Vedas? What is the main role of the Vedas? What do Vedas do?
Yeah, pivotal role, guide of spiritual practice and
guides.
social obligation. That's mentioned
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Take us to from where we are to the spiritual, right? Where we supposed to go.
Yeah, correct.
Connects with our relation with divine.
Yes, it connects. Vedas gives us the guidelines wherein we can connect our relationship to human we can establish our connection of human existence with the divine.
So
then yes,
Samantha Mataji, it helps us so as to establish social structure, that is Varna, in ashram, that is for spiritual progression, and it teaches us how to establish the ultimate goal, the pure devotional service.
Yeah, correct. It gives us a foundation for the Varnashram system. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Then what illustrates decline in spiritual purity? This I already covered in the previous slide. Okay, going forward, what do Varnas and Ashramas represent? Harsha, Raksha Mataji is quiet today. Okay, anyone else? Prasad Prabhu?
He has gone for an appointment to doctor.
Mataji has gone for hospital.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yes, Rajkumari Mataji, you were saying something.
I was telling only Raksha Mata ji has stopped.
Okay, no, doesn't matter. Anybody wants to try this?
Varna and Ashrama represent Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Dipti Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Varna and Ashrama represent the social harmony maintained by the persons.
It represents a system. It represents a structured system that leads to social harmony.
Integrates both material and spiritual duties.
Yeah. So Prabhuji explained very nicely about the 4 Varnas and the 4 Ashramas and the duties associated to that. and when they are executed in that particular manner and the process is followed, then it leads to a higher realization. Then
Also, one thing is there, just for
yes, Prabhu.
Lord Krishna also mentioned that these Varna ashram, he relates to different body parts of his
Yes.
the huge universal body. But yes,
Yeah.
I just wanted to share. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji. Correct. Different angas of the Lord are represented, like these varnas and ashramas, they represent the different angas of the Lord. Okay, so what leads to the spiritual advancement? What by following what it leads? It is the same connection question connected to previous question, wherein I was asking what was the cause of this decline. So what leads
Well,
to spiritual?
as per the dharma, we get
Ha,
connected with the divine.
Yeah. So dharma what?
Dharma
Mataji,
is
can you
duty.
Radha Vinod Prabhuji was explaining that how one leg would go away from the bull. So that was illustrating that dharma was declining. So what leads to spiritual advancement then?
Yeah. So
Individual.
again, yeah, go ahead. Mata.
No, Prabhu.
Yeah. So going again, understand here, two things are always talked about in material world. Whatever we see that your focus is that's a temporary and ephemeral world, and another side, Krishna gives eternity, right? He gives um, uh, where he shows the another path also. So even dharma is declining, but at the same time, there are intelligent people who see drawback of material world, and they see the eternal world. Krishna gives side by side. He
Yeah.
doesn't one at a time. So that can bring, and then procedure given and all that,
Yeah.
guru and everything follows,
Yeah,
once
correct.
that is.
So here exact answer is when a person is going away from the Lord, the dharma is declining. And when dharma is followed, when one fulfills one's duties and follows the dharma, lives the life by righteousness, that time it leads to spiritual advancement. So you go away from Lord when you are not doing your duty. When you do your duty in from all aspects, then you spiritually advance. So it's one leads to another. Okay. So if I do not, there is a varna, there is an ashrama, I have to follow my duties according to my varna and the ashrama. So if I do not follow a particular, suppose I am outside a particular varna or ashrama, does that mean that I cannot realize Lord? I cannot get the knowledge of the supreme truth?
No, it is Lord is accessible for all those who want to turn, as you say, towards the Lord. It's available. This doesn't make a difference where you are current your status is. So that's what again inquisitive. So Lord is everybody is under his umbrella. So nobody is beyond his purview. So there is opportunity for everybody. It doesn't make a difference. You are within Varnashram or you are outside the Varnashram.
Yeah,
doesn't make
correct.
Yes.
As you said before, that Lord is the most compassionate. So even if you do not belong into the social framework, even if you're outside of the social framework, that is the Varnashram system, one human life still has the potential to for spiritual realization. So Lord has a way for everyone. Lord can be achieved by everyone, whether you belong to a particular caste or no. So that is the beauty
very
of
nice example
devotional
in
service.
Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about Muchivoy, Suchivoy, Yadi Krishna Bhaje, Suchivoy, Muchi, Yadi Krishna Tyaje. If you worship the cobbler, it's supposed to be below the Varnashram, he can become a
Yeah.
Brahmana. And if
Yes.
the Brahmana doesn't Tyaja Krishna, he can become a Muche. So that is a
Correct.
coupler. That nice example is there.
Yes, perfect, Professor. It goes here very well.
Mm.
Thank you. So in this, like we discussed these 7 verses of this particular chapter. So what are the conclusions of this particular themes? Can anybody summarize the conclusion? What do we learn from these 7 verses?
We should do devotional service side by side, doing our duties, fulfilling our responsibilities. We
Right.
should go for spiritual advancement also.
Yeah, rather we should prioritize our
Yes.
spiritual life.
Prioritize.
Within yeah. And we should understand the reason why the Varnashram system, Lord introduced Varnashram system.
It's a dynamic interplay between the divine guidance, societal structure, and individual duty.
Yeah.
And Lord says
And
that
and to
one
realize,
can perform the prescribed duty, but offer everything to me. Huh?
Yeah.
So
Correct.
yeah, otherwise even perfect execution of Varnashram, it will be useless without devotion. Yes. So
Correct.
everything
So-
culminates in bhakti. Yeah.
Bhakti, yes, correct. So we should understand the reason behind the establishment of Varnashram system and understand the essence behind that and follow the essence, why the system came into the picture. Okay, going forward. Then what is Yagnopita and what does it signify?
It is sacred thread. It signifies commitment to spiritual life.
It is initiation of the through a sacred thread.
Yes.
That signifies commitment to spiritual life. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Then what happens in Gurukula and why it is important?
Gurukula is the home of spiritual master, and this spiritual master nurtures these all good qualities, and the disciples are always under the guidance of this master.
Yeah. So basically, Gurukula is a nurtured environment that is given to
These are
transform
deep
our.
wholeheartedly study
deep
and
learning.
practice devotional service.
Okay, correct. Correct. A nurturing environment that is given to a person to learn and grow personally. Correct. Then what are the 2 virtues a brahmachari student is expected to cultivate?
Personal hygiene.
Engaging in. Go ahead, Mataji.
Yes, Dipti Mataji.
One discipline and personal hygiene and purity of mind is expected from brahmachari.
Correct. Discipline and celibacy, these are the 2 very important virtues that a brahmachari student should cultivate. And why he should cultivate these 2 virtues? What is the reason?
Disciplined lifestyle gives us deep-rooted understanding and mastery over sense and mind, and it helps in achieving elevated spiritual awareness.
Correct.
And
So
it
it is
also to avoid the distractions.
Yes.
These
Yeah, so brahmacharya is a student life basically, and it helps to maintain celibacy and discipline that will be maintained in the Gurukul under the training by the spiritual master, and it is the basic foundation of character that is required so as to
Yes.
live.
Yeah. All answers were correct. Thank you. And what are the 3 requirements? Very important question. What are the 3 in requirements of genuine spiritual advancement? Last point. Very important.
Sacrifice, unwavering focus, and heartfelt commitment
To the path.
That's Lord.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so we go ahead. How should a student serve his guru?
He should have humility, and
Yes.
he should offer food by begging, and these do some these activities like foot massage, all these
Yeah,
activities.
he should offer his food. Whatever he's obtained, he should first offer it to his guru to show respect.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
So, yes, you are correct. Humility and respect is of utmost importance. This is how a student should serve his guru. And what is the need to serve the guru in this with humility and respect? Why it is required?
Devoted service to Guru purifies the intention and
Correct.
deepens the devotion.
Correct. Yes. Perfect. Thank you, Mataji. What is the importance of cleanliness? Sorry, I think I left one. What can a student do after completion of his studies? After his
He may enter into Grihastha Dharma.
He may enter
yes,
into Grihastha Dharma, as well as he may go to for Banprasth, and for may go for
yeah,
renunciation.
correct. So if he is free from the desires, then he can opt for Vanaprastha ashram or Sannyas ashram. If not, then he can enter into Grihastha ashram, but following the regulations of that particular ashram. Okay. So this is, let us go ahead. What is the importance of cleanliness and why is it important? Same thing. Why cleanliness is important?
Yeah, Hare
Outer
Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Radha
Okay,
Vinod Pokri.
so yeah, so cleanliness external, internal, as Prabhuji was today also mentioning, if there's a external cleanliness, it influences to some extent, but internal cleanliness is required because anarthas will go, and the
Yeah,
bhakti is at internal and not external, but sometimes external can influence,
yeah,
partly.
yes. So
For deeper
both,
practice,
yes, yeah,
for deeper spiritual practices, it is necessary.
correct. It is not just the external, but internal purity is also of utmost importance. And what is the most important thing in bhakti, that is pure devotional service? What is the most important thing?
Continuously remembering Supreme Personality of
Personality
God.
of perfect. And why we should continuously remember the Lord?
Because it dwells in the heart of all beings, and it gives all this awareness we can get from this um, bhakti in contact of supreme power of Godhead, having
Yeah,
pure devotion, we can
con
have
continuous
awareness.
remembering him,
yeah,
we can nurture with compassion and humility,
yeah, correct.
and
If we
that
see him in
deepens
everyone,
our devotion.
yes, yeah. It's not possible to practice humility and compassion unless and until we see God everywhere or in everybody. Correct.
Yeah.
So we go ahead. Okay. Can a Brahmana change his role to that of a Vaishya or Kshatriya or vice versa? If yes, then why?
In the time of crisis, if
Hmm.
any, if he is not getting proper survival needs, uh, and so for temporary time you can shift.
Hmm. Yeah, but it has to be only for that particular situation. Again, he
Yeah,
has to go back to
yes,
his,
come back then after some
yeah.
time.
And the reason of his doing his own responsibility is?
If he
For
if he
the
feels
good,
tainted by these duties, he can pursue another means of sustenance.
yes. For the highest good, one has to stick to his own dharma.
Yes,
So
yes.
for the situation, if the situation requires, he can change, but he has to come back to his own dharma. Okay. And what are the responsibilities of a grihastha?
To fulfill all the duties of grihastha, side by side doing practices for spiritual growth.
Not
Yeah,
side by side, Mataji. That is the priority, not side by side.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
You are right.
other places, Srila Prabhupada talks about grahastha and grah medhi.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't want to be a grah medhis, living a animalistic life, but we want a grahastha. That means Lord is at the center and everything is planned around him. So let it be varna, or ashram or anything, he is at the center. So that is. Yeah, what is the question, mother?
Like what should a grihastha do? How should he lead his life?
He
Grahastha
should have
should,
made.
yeah, he
So go.
should have performed his responsibility, keeping the higher purpose in life. That is the Lord. So he should not undermine that. I think that was the essence. Many times we saw that.
Yeah.
Mataji,
Yes.
he should do his, he should maintain his vital responsibility of all his family members. He should do Vedic study and he should earn his money in a righteous manner and
Correct.
perform ritual sacrifice. And without
Correct.
and he should have detachment from these worldly materials.
Correct. Perfect. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. What should one prioritize? Why should one prioritize spiritual advancement? If we don't prioritize spiritual advancement, what will happen in the
Then
material
excess
world?
will be there with the wealth, woman, all worldly positions. So then that will be automatically decline in the devotional service.
The mind, if it is not in devotional service, it will definitely get into worldly attachment. So if you do not attach yourself to the Lord, it will get attached to the world, which will get us into the cycle of birth and death. So there is a danger of getting into the reincarnation process or falling from the path if we get attached to material things. So prioritizing spiritual advancement is of utmost importance. So here we conclude these particular verses from. So what is the conclusion of these verses from 40 to 58? Anybody can summarize? It's mentioned here.
One should follow all these qualities, this truthfulness, non-violence, to do one's duties in a very responsible way, and keeping the supreme on keeping the attention to focus the attention on Supreme God.
Yeah. Correct. There is a balance to be straight in the worldly life as well as spiritual life. Okay. So we go ahead. What is the ultimate purpose of human life?
To seek divine, to seek Krishna, supreme power of Godhead, the main purpose. Because this human life is very
rare,
durlabh, rare, and out of these 84 lakhs forms of species,
yeah.
This is only the human life is the life who can attain this goal.
Yeah, correct. So the ultimate purpose is to cultivate love for the Supreme Lord. Then, are there any social and religious barriers to devotional service? or does devotional service transcend all the barriers?
It transcends all the barriers.
So what is actually required to attain
Unwavering,
pure
Surrender
unwavering,
to God.
unconditional love to
Genuine
God.
love and surrender to God.
correct? Genuine
Hare
love and
Krishna.
surrender is required. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Yeah, so genuine love and surrender. Yes, Krishna Prem. And we can understand that. So it is not Varnashram, but Daivi Varnashram, because Varnashram is not the pathway. It's the pathway, but not the destination. And the
Yes.
duty without devotional service is bondage, and
Yes.
it will culminate us in the bondage. And our service to Lord Krishna at his lotus feet is our real identity, because nowadays we do see the identity crisis about who I am, what I am supposed to do. So Varnashram Dharma, it helps us to organize the life, and Bhakti perfects our life.
Yeah.
So that is the essence.
Perfect. And here they've also explained the varnashram system according to the 4 varnas and the ashramas, which we already know. So we'll go ahead, and we've learned what was the reason behind this varnashram system. Okay, what is the purest form of devotion?
Surrender to God.
Yes.
And free from all these material existence, desires.
Yes, correct. Complete surrender is the purest form of devotion. And why is this surrender important?
Surrender elevates the significance of humility and deep devotion. And when we depend on Lord, then we see Him everywhere.
Humility will not come, no, unless we don't surrender. It doesn't come easily. Only when we surrender, only that time the humility comes. Till that time, the false ego keeps on coming up. So that's the reason they have mentioned that humility and deep devotion comes only when we surrender. When is the person equal? When is the person equal to a 2-legged animal?
Many neglect is
Yes.
all these varnashram systems.
Yeah. When he forsakes his spiritual responsibilities, he is no less than a 2-legged animal. And what capacity do humans have? What is the potential of human life?
So one can, just now I said, one can surrender our life for the service at the lotus feet, and that has to be foundational. And in ISKCON also we do see in our parampara. So it is
But
in
why
Dasam
is this foundation? Like,
Only in human
question.
form, only in human form we can develop the spiritual love for God. We understand that.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it is in
Yes.
Dasanudas Bhav we try to serve, no?
Yes. So only in human form this connection can be established with the divine. In no other form it is possible. Hence, the human life has the potential of realizing the divine. Only the human life. Okay, what virtues comprise ethical conduct? Point 6.
So non-violence,
Non-violence,
truthfulness, honesty, compassion.
compassion.
These are the fundamental, and that derives some
Yes.
other also.
Yeah, right. Okay, and what are the consequences of abandoning the varnashram system? Completely, if you abandon the varnashram system, what could be the consequences?
Violence, social inequality,
Yes.
and all these things.
Degradation will happen in the society.
Social chaos.
Yeah.
No, so as the modern society is varnashramless chaos, and we have to establish Daivi Varnashram that has been centered on Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
So that will help.
So what is the conclusion now for these verses? What does Uddhav Gita teach us? What is the essence of human life?
And should follow all these spiritual rules and these all ethical principles to
Essence of
uh,
human life is to establish, cultivate
Religion.
divine love for the Lord.
Yeah.
And
yes.
for that, Lord has given in for this particular yuga, Lord established the Varnashrama system. And if you abide by the Varnashram system, you will advance spiritually. So that is the conclusion. Okay, last 3 slides. I'll just find up quickly. What is the significance of initiation? Why are these people twice born? Like they are called twice born because of their spiritual initiation. So, what is the significance of the spiritual initiation?
The significance of initiation is a powerful transformation from biological birth to spiritual rebirth.
Correct. That
That
is to
perform the devotional service
yeah,
in a disciplined manner.
correct. Which will give us higher which will help us attain the higher consciousness, or which will help us attain enlightenment. So that's why this initiation is important, because it gives you the process, or by following which you can seek higher consciousness. Okay, and what is the significance of guru-disciple relationship? Why it is important? Rather, at most important. Only by being true or surrendered to the guru, one can realize God. Why it is so important relation?
Because it's the higher authority, no?
Hmm.
And so, yeah, so transformation has been possible with the knowledge
Yes.
and wisdom.
It is only the guru who shows us the path towards enlightenment. And if we are honest to him, we are honest to his devotee. And Lord is more merciful. He is more attached to his devotee than to himself. So if you serve his devotee, you're serving God only. So guru disciple, that is, and he gives us the knowledge. He leads us to God. So this relationship is of utmost importance. Okay, then discipline and austerity in brahmacharya. Can we just, like if we just follow the life of a brahmacharya, is it important just to wear the clothes, lead that lifestyle? What is important? Why is discipline and austerity important in brahmacharya? What does it do if you practice discipline and austerity?
So just now, the way Radha Vinod Prabhuji said, so it is not only the externalities, those are important, but internal transformation, that is controlling mind and senses, it's been also important. And so that discipline has to be there.
Correct.
And yeah, and it will
So when you
signify
practice discipline and
spiritual
austerity,
progress.
you get self-control, and you can
Yeah.
you get control over the senses also, which is of utmost importance. Without sense control, one cannot advance spiritually. So that is the basis. Okay, and we've
Simplicity, chastity, okay, so those
yes,
are important things, so which can be imbibed. So
yes, very true. And purification and spiritual practices. What leads to purification? How is purification happening?
Daily spiritual practices and which is worshipping deities, chanting mantra, all these association of sadhu sang and guidance of the spiritual master, uh, all these
Correct.
purify.
When we do daily spiritual practices, we develop samskaras, and these samskaras, they purify us inside and outside. Now, very important very important point is sense control and celibacy. Why it is of so much importance? Second last slide. Just 2 more minutes and I'm done.
If one does not control sensual desires, then it will lead to spiritual degradation.
Yes.
And
yes. Sense gratification has to be avoided completely. A little bit of attachment to sense gratification will lead to spiritual degradation. And the transition through different stages of life, through these ashramas, through these various stages of life, what transformation is happening? From brahmacharya to grahastha, to vanaprastha, to sannyasa.
So it gives us the sense of belongingness and responsibilities which are associated in each of this phase, and helps us to adhere to Vedic regulations. As we do observe, there are rules and regulations we do follow, and it helps us so as to have the spiritual focus. And in our ISKCON, we do see that this Varnashram system is based on guna and karma. So it is not by birth. It is not caste and creed it considers. So it's been very important and can be highlighted. So
these are basically stages of life in which one can gradually progress on the spiritual path. In all ages, you can, like in childhood, in youth, in middle age, in old age, you are gradually progressing on the spiritual path if you follow by the responsibilities of the rules. Yes, Prabhuji, you were saying something.
So I was just, dharma, artha, kam, moksha, right? So that ingredient, like a brahmachari teaches how to live a dharma, understand that. They go to grasta, I know you earn money, dharma, earth, and then earth and kam, both comes there. And then vanaprastha and sannyasi, gradually you transition towards moksha,
liberation.
Or, liberation.
Which is the ultimate goal.
Correct.
Fosters balanced approach.
Actually. Yeah, fosters balanced approach.
Balanced approach can come if you understand the dharma. Understand dharma, then only the balance will come. Otherwise, nothing will happen, right?
Yeah, here we do see that if equilibrium is maintained, then only we can expect the dynamic society, है ना?
Yeah. Equilibrium of the person, individual as well as the society has to be maintained. And that is possible when we follow these varnas and ashramas in the right perspective. Okay, now we come to the last slide and I'm just finishing off. The power and respect, power of respect and service into the relationship. How does the relationship change when you practice respect and when you serve the person? What equation changes? Like if I'm serving you, if I'm paying you respect, what happens? It's the opposites. So if we have a disagreement or a fight, how does it change the relationship? But if on the contrary, if I respect you, if I serve you, how does it change? What change happens?
So every action has got equal and opposite reactions. So if we give respect, you do get respect also back. It bounces back. And so on this spiritual journey, so it's not merely the personal development, okay, but you can have
this quality. To grow together.
Yeah.
So in order to grow together and to establish an environment, peaceful, harmonious environment, you have to give respect to others and you have to serve others. Only then we can create this environment.
Very nice word you use, seva. You see in a stars, service that impacts, that get impacted when you have you offenses with the devotees. What first impact is the seva that we lose, right? So it's very nicely presented.
Especially in case of Guruji, it enlightens deeply.
Yes, it transforms. When you serve a guru, like Sanjeev Prabhuji mentioned, like how service to the Guru gives so much of how does it transform one completely. In fact, it helps us to reach the ultimate goal only if you serve your Guru honestly, with complete surrender. And then the final is strength of community and collective spiritual education. So when we are establishing Gurukulas and an environment that is conducive to spiritual growth, it helps like the whole society, and the whole society grows together. So it is not a path of isolation. It is both. It is to be practiced in isolation, but you have to at the same time serve the community and grow along with everyone. It's not that you get the knowledge and you keep it to it. You have to share it and you have to grow together. So this is what Prabhuji very nicely covered in the yesterday's class. So I stopped here today. Now it's open for discussion for today's class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Mataji. Yeah,
Mataji.
Danvat pranam for all
thank
for
you for so nice
participating
lecture.
so nicely. Thank you so much for the participation.
Hare Krishna.
Over to Sanjeev. No, he's not there. Sharat Prabhuji. Now it is open for discussion for today's class. Lesson
Yes, any
167B.
comments? Any questions or comments on whatever we have heard today? That was part of yesterday's lesson only. That is the chapter 17 only. We have finished it today.
Prabhuji, duties of grahastha, like one can insist on agriculture, one can insist for cow protection. So likewise, what we can do, being grahastha, we can do charity, we can serve brahmanas. No?
Yes, all these things, grihastha, like in the society, the most important the grihasthas, because their number is much more. Like you see in the present day society, grihasthas should be about 98% or 99% even. And they should do whatever is given in our shastras, like you said. They should do their duty, what is given in the shastra. Charity is one thing, worshipping the Supreme Lord, that is the personal deity at home, that is one thing. Then raising the children, giving them correct education, all these things, they are very, very important, because the Grihasthas only, they are supporting the other three varnas, other three ashramas, because the others, they are not earning anything. Only the Grihasthas, they are earning. And they should do that. Then we were talking of, say, what can a Grihastha do as per his, wherever he is, as per his varna and asrama. We discussed about how one cannot, one should follow what is prescribed for him, like a Brahmana. Brahmana should not take up the job of a Kshatriya or a Vaishya unless there is an emergency. And if there is an emergency, he takes up that profession. Then once that emergency subsides, then he should come back to his original Brahmana dharma. Like this, it is same for the Kshatriyas also. But under no circumstances, a Brahmana should take up the job of a Sudra, nor the Kshatriya should take over the job of a Sudra. Yes, the Vaishya can do the Sudra's job. That is all right. And all these things are given in the Shastras. And while performing these duties, also one should be very careful. Like, for example, this charity. It should not be that you are going around and some people, the beggars, are asking, you are giving money. That is not charity. That has to be understood very much clearly. And please remember that if you are giving money to somebody and that money is misutilized by that person, say that person he smokes or drinks or buys meat with that, then the sin goes to you also. That is very, very important. That's why we should give charity to the entitled persons. And who are the entitled persons where there is no difficulty, there is no chance of deviating? It is, say, you are giving charity to a brahmachari because he is not earning anything, to a sannyasi. Vanaprastha you will not find in this world, or you are giving charity to a temple for some job. All these things are correct, but the other thing that means somebody can ask if there is a poor person, shouldn't we feed him? Yes, certainly. Feed him with food, not with money, not giving money. If he doesn't have clothes, give him clothes. There is no restriction on that. But giving money, one should be little careful. Otherwise, the one will be harmed.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I have, something to add into that. Recently, I was in Vrindavan and I went to Madhudham, right? The Madhuvan. That is where pastime took. I was with Srishta Prabhuji, who happened to be president of my Vrindavan ISKCON for a long time. He was in Washington DC also, such elevated. He's my god brother also. We went together, and always in Vrindavan, in all those places you go, the children follow you, right, begging. So just 1 second. Just 1 second, sir.
Yes, yes, in Vrindavan, if or surrounding places you go, the children they'll come to you, they'll ask for money, or if there is a shop, say selling something, they will ask you to give something. Yes, it is good to give them something in kind, not in money, certainly. And let us hear what Radha Vinod Prabhuji has to tell about his experience when he went there. I think about 2 months back, he was there for a few days in Vrindavan. Let us hear him. Anybody has? Okay, okay.
So
Yes,
sorry, Prabhuji. So
yes,
sorry.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, somebody came with the flowers, neighbor, and wife was not here. So yeah, so I asked the same question because children start following. We are talking about a charity, and there was the great Brajvashi sitting there in a Vyasada, and we were two, and he saw that Seshta Prabhuji comes with saffron cloth. Nowadays he is a kind of a sannyasi they recognize. So I saw that good opportunity, and children follow for money. You see all the children. It was really bugging to me, and somehow the question came to me. I asked that should we give a charity? These people, they follow for money and small children. My logic was that I can understand old people, those are coming outside, that's okay. But children of 4 years, 5 years, they really, girls, boys, they follow wherever you go. Believe it, he gave me 20, 25 minutes lecture, and at the end, he did not answer perfectly, but he gave indirectly answer. He says in Vrindavan, the children have a right, legitimate right to beg for them. And he gives example of, I don't want to go for 20, 25 minutes, what he explained, So he says, as far as the Vrindavan is concerned, Krishna has given license to them beg, and don't look at them that they are beggars. Okay. Rather, if it is offense that manage how you do. Don't look at it as a begging. That's what he was talking about. But other than that, as you say, other than that dham stali, I think then it follows like what you will say, whom to give charity and not to give, and all those things follow. So this is also really bugging to me, but this is what's told Prabhuji. At the end, he did not give clearly. He was meant, and other there was another couple of instances it happened, and was asking should we give or should we not give. Answer was in either they were avoiding or they were telling that in a Vrindavan just give children, even that 4 year, 3 year, 2 year child if he asks just give to them.
Okay, we should be very clear because all these are practical things we follow. What I'll do, I'll tell you. Suppose normally I have seen in various parts of Vrindavan, Mathura, and all that. If they ask, you can give them in kind. Like suppose there is somebody who is giving sugarcane juice or some other thing, you give them a glass of sugarcane juice to each one of them, but it may not be correct to give them money. So in kind, this is all right, but as per me, we should avoid giving in terms of money because they don't know what is the what is the meaning of that. Yes, Brajvasis, yes, they are in a much exalted position than all of us. There is no doubt about it because they have taken birth there. But we have to follow, like, I'll tell you one example. When I was establishing my house in Vrindavan for some work, some election came and he was entering with his shoes inside. And I told him, no, no, the Thakurji, that is the Lord is here, don't enter with your shoes. He said, no, no, I am a Brajavasi, I can do anything I feel like. Then I had to tell him, you can do anything you feel like somewhere else, but not here. This is my place. So you have to have the discretion. You should know, but at the same time, there is no requirement, necessity to offend anybody. But tell him very strictly or sternly, that is also our responsibility.
प्रभु जी,
Thank
बच्चों
you.
को पैसे देना तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा उसमें मोटिवेट करता है कि और ज़्यादा बच्चे किडनैप होते हैं फिर, और ये
Yes,
जो है
yes, yes,
बहुत
yes.
ज़्यादा घातक है ये तो।
You give to 3, 4 children and another 5, 6 they come, then after they go another come. There is no end of that.
बिल्कुल।
Like I was telling you this story, I know a person in Vrindavan. He stays near the Scott temple in a hotel. The rent is he pays 1,500 rupees per day throughout the year, and by begging, his earning is minimum about 20 to 40,000 rupees per day.
हम्म।
So he is likely to misuse that, and let us not be a part of that process.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'll just tell you, you said the consciousness of the children. I have just incidents. I'll just tell you in 1 minute. You know, where the Vastraharan, like the Krishna steals the clothes of gopis, there's a tree. And that Yamuna is almost 100 feet or 150 feet away from that. And those two, three girls and the boys, they were following 4 year, 2 year, maybe they're asking for money. And, sometime my wife used to give, I used to say that, no, you should not ask, like what you say, you should not beg. This is not a good thing. And they were there. And normally we go with, I had a slipper. And when I close to the tree, I remove the slippers and you pay the obeisances, right? The tree and all those. You see that place, how it is there, which way it's maintained. And then I went to the Yamuna, came back, and there was another some devotees came and they were asking some questions. So I was just trying to answer. Inadvertently, the slipper was there. I tried to go close to the tree. Look at those boys and girls. बोलते हैं कि यहाँ आप स्लीपर पहने नहीं, आप स्लीपर पहने उधर हाथ मत लगाइए. I didn't reach, but I was just planning inadvertently. Previously, I removed. I just put it because somebody was there. It happened. Look at the consciousness of them. I realized them. Then I asked, "You have also slippers?" The girl had a slipper. She said, "But I'm not going close to the tree." So they don't believe that is a tree. They believe this is the pastime has happened. I inadvertently I forgot that in a moment, right? Initially I did, but that latter moment I forgot. So that consciousness is there. I see in the Brajvasis, even the small children.
Yes. They are
Thank you.
much exalted. There is no doubt about it. They may not be realizing. Any other question or comments? If none, then we can conclude today's class with the Nusinga prayers.
May I do, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Prahlada Lada Daine, Prahlada Lada Daine, Hiranyakasipu Bhakya, Hiranyakasipu Bhakya, Silatankarana Khalai, Ito Nasinga Parato Nasinga, Ito Nasinga Parato Nasinga, Yato Yami Tato Nasinga, Yato Yami Tato Nasinga, Bahi Nasinga, Hridai Nasinga, Bahi Nasinga, Hridai Nasinga, Narasingamadi Saranam Prapadde, Tabakara Kamala Bhari, Nakham Adbhuta Srungam, Lalita Hiranyakasyapu Tanubhrungam, Kesavadruta Nararirupa, Jai Jagadisari, Jai Jagadisari, Jai Jagadisari. Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Nrsingadev, Nrsingadev, Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Gurudev. जय श्री लक्ष्मी नृसिंह भगवान की जय, जय श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, जय शरद प्रभु जी की जय, सर्व प्रभु जी की जय, जय श्री ऑल डिवोटीज की जय. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम
Hare
राम.
Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji Hari
Now
Bol.
we
Thank you, Samta Mataji.
Nitya Mataji.
wait for
Hare
tomorrow's
Krishna.
class.
Prabhuji.
Tomorrow's class, I believe Charu Prabhuji will be taking instead of Archana Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam.